Seku Radio. Today we have a great guest, and our guest is from the airline. And I have a lot of interest in airline. And our guest is Amy Swenson. Amy was a flight attendant, now is going to flight school. Amy, do you mind introducing yourself to our radio listener, please?
Hi, yeah. My name is Amy Swenson. I'm originally from Minnesota. I was a flight attendant for about 2 years, and I decided that I wanted to kind of switch gears to start my flight training. So, yeah, I have about 2 years left until I can start working at an airline.
Okay. Now, flying is a fascinating thing. How you got interested in flying? Because not too many people like to fly.
Yeah, my mom was a flight attendant originally, so that kind of got me thinking about a career as a flight attendant. But once I took a discovery flight, like an introduction flight of flying myself as a pilot, I fell in love with it. So that kind of made me want to invest in a career as a pilot instead.
Okay. Now, this radio is being listened by many millions of people. And can you take us through the ABC of going to a fly school? Like, what do you do first? How you make your first decision? What's next? What's A? What's B? What's C? What's D?
Yeah, there's a couple of different options that you can do. You can either do like a university program, or you can just go down to pretty much any local airport that you have has a flight school that you can just go to. It's not required to have a degree or anything like that. You can just go learn how to fly. So one of the first steps is taking a discovery flight. So it's about an hour-long flight with an instructor. And they just kind of go through like the basics of flying with you and take you up and kind of show you around the plane and everything like that. So I would suggest doing that first just to see if it's something that you want to invest in, because it is kind of expensive. But from there, you just get all of your ratings. So there's you start with a private pilot certificate, and that takes anywhere from, I'd say, like 2 months to a year. I mean, you don't really have like a specific timeline. But yeah, from there, you just add on your instrument rating and then your commercial pilot certificate. So you can start carrying passengers for hire. And then the route that I'm taking is going to be a certified flight instructor. So after I get all of my other ratings, I'll be a flight instructor, so then I can teach people how to fly. And then you have to build 1,000 to 1,500 hours to get hired at an airline. So you got to find a way to get those hours somehow. But yeah, most people do the certified flight instructor route.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between a flight instructor and a regular pilot?
Well, a flight instructor is still a pilot. It's just a way to get to earn a little money while getting your hours in, because once you get all of your ratings, you're normally at around like 250 to 300 hours total. And you, like I said, you need about 1,000 to 1,500 hours to get hired anywhere. So it would be really expensive to just pay to get all of those hours, like the 700 or so hours that you need. So a flight instructor is a great way to kind of solidify everything that you learned too, because now you're not only just like flying, you're also teaching someone who has zero experience how to fly. So it's a great way to get like an in-depth knowledge of flying.
Now, what is the difference between the university program and the regular airport flying program?
It's kind of your personal preference. So to get hired at a regional airline, which is just they're contracted out with the major airlines. So they typically fly like the smaller routes. They don't require you to have a degree at all. So if you think that a degree program isn't right for you, like you don't want to go through the extra schooling, then you can just go take flight lessons anywhere, and you can still get like quality flight training without going to a university. But if you want to eventually get hired by like the major airlines, they typically do require or suggest you have a 4-year degree. But it doesn't have to be in aviation either. Like if you already have a degree in something else, they just like to see a degree.
Mm-hmm. Now, would it be fair to mention the name of your university?
Yeah, I go to Liberty University. It's a online bachelor's degree, and then they have affiliate flight schools all around the U.S. So I chose one in Daytona, Florida. So I can fly pretty much almost every day because of the weather is so nice here. It's hot, but it's nice. But yeah, so it's a bachelor's degree in 2.5 years. So it's year round, and my flying is through the school down here, and then my degree is through the Liberty University online.
Okay. So on that subject, can you tell us what are the best flying school in the country? 3 or 4 of them.
I don't know like the best ones. Like some of the universities that come to mind are like Embry-Riddle that's down here in Daytona Beach. I think like a UND, like a University of North Dakota, they have a great aviation program. Purdue University also has a great university program. The flight school that I'm at is Phoenix East Aviation, so they're affiliated with the university, but you can go to them without doing the university route. So you can still get the same quality of flight training at a Phoenix East or something like that. And it's still the same quality and everything like that. So it's just a little bit of a different route.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How young you have to be a flyer to go to this flying school?
I believe you can start flying at a pretty young age. Your first solo flight, I believe you have to be 16 years old. But other than that, you can kind of start flying whenever. I mean, when I was working as a flight attendant, I was working with guys and girls that were like 21 years old, and they were flying jets at an airline. So you can definitely start it young and have a good career out of it.
Mm-hmm. But professionally, you cannot pilot until you're a certain age, right?
Yeah, I believe that age is 21. I believe you have to be 20. I'm not quite certain on that, but I believe to get hired at an airline, you have to be at least 21 years old.
Okay. Now, let's talking about, you mentioned it before that you need 1,000 hours for the university program. And I believe your friend mentioned it is some other institution wants 1,500. Can we talk about the difference in hours?
Yeah, so basically if you just go to any flight school that's not through the university, you need 1,500 hours. And if you go through the university and you get a degree that's specific in aviation, then you only need 1,000 hours. So I think their reasoning behind that is they just, like the FAA sees that you're getting, I guess, more education in the aviation specifically versus like a broader one. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason why there's a less hour requirement.
Okay. Now, with the 1,000 hours, if you can break it down for us, what do you do? Is that all flying and landing related, or there's some other knowledge of the engines or or any other
Yeah,
details?
so each certificate and each rating, you kind of further your knowledge. So the private pilot is just like the basic understanding of your airplane. So I did mine in a Piper Archer, so it's just a single engine land airplane. So you have to learn the systems of it. You have to learn the engine. You have to learn emergencies. You have to learn the stalling speeds. You have to and practice all of the maneuvers as well. You have to show that you can control the airplane and you know the performance of the airplane that you're flying. So with each rating and each certificate, your knowledge just gets deeper and more in depth, and they expect you and they test you on that knowledge. So the way the hours are broken down, you finish with your commercial certificate with roughly 250 hours with each student. It kind of depends on how many hours you have, but you finish with around 250. And then depending on which way you go, whether you want to be the certified flight instructor or you want to, sometimes people go the route of like taking pictures or surveying or flying planes for skydivers or something like that to build the hours. It just kind of depends. But then you need to get up to 1,000 or 1,500 in order to get hired. So it just kind of depends. You could also just rent a plane and just fly for the rest of those hours. It would probably take you a while and it would cost a lot of money, but you could definitely do it that way or buy a plane. A lot of people just buy like a cheaper, older plane to get all of those hours, and that's totally fine too. They don't really care how you get the hours. It's just you just have to have those hours per the FAA.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the big name, the FAA. Can you scroll up because you got FAA said this, FAA said that. Can you tell us what does the FAA stand for?
Yeah, it stands for the Federal Aviation Administration. So they're just a Department of Transportation. They just kind of regulate everything that goes on with flying. So they regulate everything for the airlines and for the training, and they kind of make the standards of what your training has to be and what you have to know and everything like that. So they're just there to, protect us, I guess, in the long run. They create safety regulations and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're very important.
Okay. Thank you for the clearance there. Now, you can't do all of this for free. Is a scholarship involved? You have to pay, or how does it work for somebody who doesn't?
There are scholarships that you can apply for out there. I know, like Women in Aviation has a whole bunch of scholarships. You can Google a whole bunch of them that come up as well. Otherwise, if you do it through a university program, you can cover some of the flight costs through FAFSA, the federal aid, or most people just have to take out loans just because it is such a big expense. But yeah, it just kind of depends on where you're going and what you want to do.
Well, for a local high school kid who doesn't want to go to college, he's fascinated about flying. Say, hey, I want to fly one of those things one day, either commercial but then he said, I want to start taking lessons. So how much it costs for an hour lessons or two, or you have to buy a package? Just school us how it works.
I would suggest just start